In 2004, I knocked on the door of my local mosque. The large but friendly Mulana invited me inside. I told him I had many questions that no one in the media has ever asked, even to this day. Basic questions like if they condemned 9/11 and were loyal to the United States. We spoke for hours, and he invited me to be on his Muslim radio show as a special guest, Joe Citizen. On air, I told his listeners that I hoped and wanted to believe that my fears were falsely based, but at the same time, I would need to hold their feet to the fire with tough questions and honest concerns. I told them that if they came here to join America and be part of the American dream, we would welcome them with open arms. And if they would help us find terrorists, they would be heroes. But if they came here with the predisposition of hating our citizens, Christians and Jews, and came here to change us and not to join us, that we would consider that to be invasion, not immigration. The show concluded in euphoria, having convinced them, with all agreeing that they needed to write a petition coming from within the Muslim community for all mosques to sign on to condemning 9/11, Al-Qaeda, all terrorism, and declaring their loyalty to America. It was quite moving, and it seemed to be a real breakthrough in helping them expel the terrorists and take their place as a people that would be loved and trusted in America. This heartfelt show is now posted on joecitizenshow.com. But nothing happened with the petition, and as time passed, I became crushed when I discovered that my worst fears would pale in comparison to what I would learn about Islam. And no matter how much I wanted to believe otherwise, I could not change reality to be what I wanted it to be. So although I became personally very fond of the Mulana, I had to take off my gloves, and it became my mission as Joe Citizen to warn America about Islam's plan for America. In 2010, I created the Joe Citizen Show on WLVJ as a siren sounding the alarm. Since 9/11, jihad has continued against America to this day, but mostly as nonviolent or cultural jihad. But nonviolent does not mean benign. It includes lawfare, intimidation, and is just as destructive, just without the blood. In America, since 9/11, the Muslim population has doubled, the mosques have tripled, and the number of Muslim officials have quadrupled. Now, normally, this wouldn't be a problem with any group, but Islam can only dominate and cannot coexist with our Constitution. Islam is not a religion. Islam is a military, political, and economic ideology that only uses religion as a tool to achieve its goal, which is a one-world Islamic nation under Sharia law. Many Americans say they have Muslim friends they like very much. Believe me, I know. But this is exactly the warm-hearted response that Islam has groomed us for and relies upon. But do your Muslim friends ever speak out openly against terrorism? Taqiyya is the art form of speaking in soft, dulcet tones disarmingly while befriending non-Muslims until they are no longer needed. Taqiyya also entitles Muslims to do anything at all, such as on 9/11 and October 7th, any lies and atrocities, it doesn't matter, anything at all, as long as they believe it advances Islam. And when Islam claims they do not kill innocents, they don't tell you they don't consider non-Muslims to be innocent. If the very many peaceful Muslims outnumber the very few violent jihadists, they should have pushed them out. But after 9/11, when the FBI reached out for help, CARE handed out leaflets telling Muslims to stay away and avoid the FBI. So this much talked about supermajority of peaceful Muslims, if they truly exist, really need to take care of business and clean house, because they cannot leave it to us to determine who is and who isn't a terrorist, and then accuse us of lumping them all together. After 9/11, 500,000 Cubans marched to Miami to show their love and support for America. Where were the Muslims? For 25 years, their silence has been deafening. Just recently, however, the Muslims actually have taken to the streets. But that's been to beat up defenseless Jewish kids and then lie on the ground praying, turning the public streets into a mosque, bullying and intimidating the residents to show their superiority and supremacy. And tomorrow, for the first time in history, the mayor of New York, Jihad boy Mamdani, has declared he will not attend the annual Israel Day parade. And make no mistake, You're either with America, Israel, and the West, or you're with the terrorists. Islam is the largest slave ownership group and the largest supremacy group in the history of the world. So it's time for the great sleeping giant to wake up. We need to declare the Moslem Brotherhood, CARE, and the rest of their dozens of offshoot groups as terror organizations. We must outlaw Sharia law in America and close down the mosques that promote it. Look, we were traumatized on September 11th, people burning alive, jumping out of windows, watching hysterical young girls clutching pictures of their missing fathers. But now it's time we come out of this Stockholm Syndrome, suicidal, empathy-induced coma, shake off our fear and denial, and step up to the plate to be the Americans our past generations fought for. No parent wants to ever live to see their child die, and no patriot wants to ever live to see their country die. And we Americans can never, ever allow that to happen. God bless.